Hello Ramen Nation, Chris Cobain here, and this time guys we are bringing you XRL, the Ramen League, week number 3, the game of the week. The Indianapolis Keldeos and head coach Alec, aka Slec, is taking on the Vancouver Victinis, and winner of week 2's game of the week, Anarchy. So yet again, just like in week 2, we have a repeat performer this week. All the matches have been good, like every single week. It just, you know, when it comes down to it, we're throwing up polls in the XRL Discord for what people thought were best game of the week, and just so happens that yet again, the one that won was featuring a coach from last week's one. So it's how it goes, you know. Hopefully more diversity later on in the weeks via that, but for now, we'll take a look at this one. It is a very, very good match, as I do remember. So on our side, we see Slec, aka or Alec, aka Slec. Going into this match, he is 2-0 and actually number 1 in the league with a massive +8 differential, which is incredible, averaging obviously a 4-0 per win, which is really, really good. And on the opposing side, Anarchy is 1-1 after losing week 1 and then bouncing back week 2 for the 500. So on our side, we're looking at Moltres, Ditto, Delmise, the all-powerful Landorus there, and of course Magneton and Keldeo. And on the opposing side, on Anarchy's side, he's running his Leaf. We see Fortress, Noivern, Volcarona, Mega Blastoise, Jolteon, and Trevenant. So there's a lot of power on Alec's side. Moltres right off the bat, super strong Pokemon, really underrated, but it's a really good one. Delmise is super strong. Landorus cannot be understated. Magneton is really good, especially with the magnet pool, and of course Keldeo just a monster. He's got the pivots he needs with Landorus and Jolteon, just built to get in his threats and just really put in work. And of course on the opposing side, obviously you got the lead Fortress right off the bat, the pure power of things like Noivern, as I said earlier, and Volcarona. Blastoise providing that hazard control, which is really important against Alec's team. And then Jolteon and Trevenant rounding it off. So the leads end up being Fortress versus Moltres. Alec easily is able to predict that Fortress lead and is able to work around it like that. And the decision right off the bat will be whether or not Anarchy wants to stay in and just take the Fire Blast / Flamethrower, whatever it has, because obviously it's sturdy and can set up rocks. So Moltres starts off as the lead here as the Fortress comes out. Named Explosion, maybe a sign of things to come. The Fortress is going to decide to switch out, does not want to take the hit already. Makes sense. He's going to go with his Zandex, which is going to be his Mega Blastoise, prepared to take the fire attack. Slec does make a good play, goes for Air Slash. Both Air Slash and Fire Blast are going to 2-tap thanks to Sturdy. So you might as well go for that on the chance of a switch. So out goes Moltres, in goes Plot Switches with Ditto. So Ditto actually makes a really good switch in for Mega Blastoise because Mega Blastoise can fight Stoise. Unfortunately, thanks to Imposter being so quick, he actually will trace regular Blastoise instead, which will put him at an immense disadvantage, and will obviously allow Mega Blastoise to win the fight. So you see the Scald come through here on the Ditto. Remember, more important than burning a regular Blastoise, as he does get the burn, because now anytime Ditto is going to Imposter into a physical attacker, he's completely worthless now. So that's a really good burn. Plot twist, knowing he can't win this fight's going to switch out and go into Magneton. And this is a very interesting play. Blastoise will switch out into Explosion, which is the Fortress. Super good on the part of the Magneton. But then Magneton switches out. I asked, it turns out he wasn't even Magnet Pool. He was running Analytic for this. And he switches out into Delmise here for the purpose that he wants to come in for the potential hazards, and he was actually afraid of Jolteon coming in. Now Jolteon was at full health, so the Voltazor was not a huge problem here, but he does it anyway. So out comes Trevenant to take the potential Rapid Spin, but a very good prediction on the side of Slec to hit up the Shadow Claw instead, which does a massive 75% on the critical hit. You're also going to see the Leftovers variant of Trevenant, not making use of that Harvest ability, but he does carry Rest, so maybe a little bit of a questionable game planning decision there. He could have went with Resto Chesto, and then had the Harvest keep his Berry intact. But he doesn't. He's going to have to rest all the way up, which is going to cause the Shadow Claw to come back through and do another 50%. even at this point, the Resto Chester wouldn't save him because he's taking too much damage anyway. He obviously is faster. The play is just to get as much damage off as possible, but he is asleep, so he can't. So he has to switch out into Spicy, which is going to be the Volcarona, as another Shadow Claw comes through. Really here, you're just hoping for the Flame Body burn. Volcarona does take about 50%, does not get the burn. Very lucky on the side of Anarchy. Or not of Anarchy, of Slec, who has to switch out and goes into Indy. So he goes into Keldeo, which is actually a surprisingly good switch into Volcarona for the most part. Resists both stabs, which is the best you can do. But the Volcarona goes ahead and reveals the Z move right off the bat. So he's just looking to do maximum damage to whatever comes in with the Z. I think he had Fiery Dance in this match, but the Z Fiery Dance, and even though it's resisted, I mean, Keldeos is not necessarily known for its bulk, and obviously Volcarona is a train. I believe 135 special attack was a lot, so it does about half, which is a lot. Obviously, Volcarona gets out of here. Now, no way can stand. He's going to switch into Treebeard again, which typically is a really good switch-in for Keldeo here, but because it's so weak, not really. You're going to see the Specs Keldeo come through, do about 25% to what I imagine is like a, especially defensive one. You do see the Natural Cure kick in there. Remember, he was sleeping, so that was his game plan. Instead of the Resto Chesto Harvest, he was thinking just rest leftovers with the Natural Cure. Viable strategy, maybe not as useful as the Harvest set, but you know, you don't have to rely on the Harvest kicking in. You know you can switch out from full health and get the rest away, or get the sleep to go away. So Trevenant does go down, allows him to get a free switch in into Wyvern, which is just a huge threat in general. Slec does have a pretty good switch into this though, and he will go into his Magnetine to show it. So, it's not, the Hurricane comes through from the side of the Noivern here. Maybe could have made a prediction there, but it'd be risky either way. You don't know what that Keldeo is. You don't know if it's Specs or not. Could be carrying Icy Wind. You don't want to take the risk there, so he goes right up for the Hurricane just in case, which is fair enough. Now he's going to switch into the Fortress here. Pretty much just a sacrifice of sorts. Slec goes back for the Flash Cannon, yet again, citing his fear of Jolteon coming in for free. But I believe he was Analytic, which is why Flash Cannon ends up doing almost 50% to a Fortress, which is actually quite a lot. But at this point, he'll just go ahead and click Thunderbolt, no more fear of the Jolteon, and he will pick up the kill, grabbing a really early advantage here, looking to maintain his undefeated season so far. So back out comes Volcarona, which is a good play. Magneton obviously would be forced out, but Slec makes the decision to sack him off here. He's already killed Fortress, which he's good for. So he doesn't really want to risk a play or Hurricane potential on Keldeo, so he goes and makes a sack play instead to play it safe. Plus, Keldeo's already really low on health, especially after rocks. He's under half, so makes a safer play there. Out goes Volcarona. This time he's going to make the switch directly into Blastoise without that Trevenant to come in. The Scald will come through from the Spec set, and it does very, very little here, obviously. Because it's Mega Blastoise, you're not going to do much anything there. So Keldeo's going to come out and switch into Plot Twist, which is going to be the Ditto yet again. This time Ditto will go ahead and copy Imposter himself into Mega Blastoise, but unfortunately he's already going to be massively chipped, obviously, especially after this incoming Dark Pulse comes through, so not the best. The one thing you do need to remember here, though, is that rocks are up, and Slec does have Moltres on his side, so it's a very good thing to Rapid Spin. So he's going to use that likely Scarf on Ditto to outspeed the opposing Mega Blastoise and get off the free Rapid Spin, which is good. He did have a Rapid Spinner of his own and Delmise, but riskier considering the obvious Dark Pulse there. So he gets it off that way. In comes the Wanker, which is still one of the best nicknames in the league. This time the Power Whip is coming through strong. Anarchy makes a decision to switch into Yuki here. He doesn't really have a much better play, especially now that that Volcarona has taken some damage. So in comes the Power Whip. It'll absolutely obliterate it. I don't know if Anarchy maybe thought that he was going to be able to live a singular Power Whip, or maybe there was a miss coming there. Who knows? But he doesn't get it. Back out comes Volcarona, and this is where it gets awesome here. You see the Fire Blast come through from Volcarona, so it's Z Fire Blast, excuse me. But you see the Assault Vest Delmise and the beautiful game planning that is Rock Slide Delmise to take out the Volcarona, the straight bait, and Delmise goes through, picks up another kill. Huge, huge play, because Volcarona was a massive threat, obviously. So Back out comes Blastoise now. Wanker will switch out, wanting to maintain himself for later on in the match. Switches up into Indy, which is a very, very risky play, especially when you know you're not going to kill with even a Secret Sword at this point. So Ice Beam will hit. Doesn't do too much with Blastoise. Still has the ability to win this fight if he wants to. But Slec knows that, so he's going to auto switch out, jump into KFC, hoping for something that isn't another isn't a water attack. But it will be Scald. Pretty good bulk there from the side of the Moltres. Barely does 50% from a Mega Blastoise, which is very, very impressive. Clearly he's running around a lot of bulk in here, but obviously this is a fight that Moltres loses. Slec made the decision to sack Moltres instead. He does get a single flinch with Air Slash. I'm pretty sure that's the only one he gets though. So he just fires off one more quick Air Slash, and that allows Moltres to die. But not a bad play. You know, especially Blastoise being so chipped, it just works out in his favor there. He doesn't really need a Moltres anymore, so he lets it die. Anarchy does pick up another kill, and that allows him to make a free switch into Dad, which is his Landorus there, and the best Pokemon in all of OU, or the most consistent one anyway. So at this point, he can just go in with whatever he wants. It is 2-on-3. I just decided to go for the Z move right off the bat, which I thought was a little interesting. He clearly didn't need the Z move to pick up the kill here, but he goes for it anyway. I believe it's Z Stone Edge. No, excuse me, it is Z Earthquake. Another match. It was another match where Ground type ran Z Stone Edge, I guess. But either way, he goes for the Z Earthquake, which is obviously going to pick up the kill. Earthquake would have easily killed anyway. Maybe he didn't want to take the risk with like this thing having a lot of physical bulk or something, but he does go for it, pick up the kill. Out comes Wyvern here, and now it's a chance for Noivern to go in and win the game. So it's 3-on-1, remember? And this is where it becomes game of the week. So he's going to switch right out into Wanker, which is going to be the Delmise. Obviously, the Hurricane's going to come through and insta pick up the kill. No questions asked. Down goes Delmise. He's going to force his switch into Keldeo here because he doesn't want to take the risk of taking hits on Landorus if he doesn't have to. But unfortunately, a second straight Hurricane Land from the side of the Noivern is going to go ahead and pick up the kill again, leading this to a 1v1 of max health Pokemon, the Z Landorus versus the Specs Hurricaning Noivern. The Intimidate obviously does not matter. Noivern goes in for one more Hurricane. He does end up missing it though, which is unfortunate, but he lives this Stone Edge with, I think he had like 3 health. I think he had like 3 health. He will land another Hurricane here. The real question comes down to, will he confuse or get the Stone Edge miss? Neither happens. I believe this ends up being Hidden Power Fire. I believe that ended up being Hidden Power Fire to hit the Fortress. And unfortunately, Noivern will go down with the 1-0 for the side of Slec. The ending of that was just so clutch because last week you had Jolteon come through and pick up those 4 kills to win the game. And then literally this Noivern, I cannot believe at the end of this game he lived Stone Edge from Landorus. That's absolutely incredible. And at the end of the day, if he would have hit 4 straight Hurricanes, he would have won the game. So at the time the chat was kind of talking about RNG, but you guys got to remember that Hurricane's only 70% accurate. So you should be hitting about 3 out of 4, 75% obviously. So you should be missing about 1 in 4, so I wouldn't really call that RNG. I would just call that percentages, the law of averages. You're going to end up missing one eventually. But the crazy thing about it, and the reason that I think people voted this to be game of the week, is just because of the fact that that ending was so dramatic with the Hurricanes coming through, and then the miss, and then the Stone Edge live. And at the end of it, you're wondering, is he going to confuse? You know, is he going to get the Stone Edge miss or what's going on? And then just barely. All he needed is that one more. Or even if Stone Edge would have missed. Because obviously then he would have lived the second Stone Edge that Slec would have been forced to go for. And been able to hit the Hurricane for the win. So really close match. Anarchy does fall to 1-2 on this one. And Slec obviously jumps up to 3-0 with the +9 differential. Still after week 3, largest in the league. Carly and the 3-minute Absols are actually 3-0 with +8, so she's 1 behind. And then I think third place is Reiki actually right now, and the Grambles, and he's 3-0 at +6. I think they're the only 3-0 teams left. They're 3 weeks in. I think there's only 3 undefeated teams left, so It's been competitive. It's been competitive. Everyone's putting in fights. No one's really winning huge. There's been a couple like lopsided victories, but for the most part, all the matches end up being like 1-2, and in some cases 3-0. So it's been very competitive. Everyone's picking up wins and losses. We got 3 undefeated teams left. Slec is one of them. He wins the match 1-0 off the clutch Landorus save. Props to Anarchy. Almost back-to-back insane comebacks this time, almost with no difference. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it as per usual. Pokemon of the Week will be coming out on Friday, as you guys are now already used to, I'd hope. So I hope you guys look forward to that. Thank you again for watching the video. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys for Pokemon of the Week, week number 3. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys later, all right? All right, peace, Ramen Nation. See ya.